All right. So it was announced this week from somebody within the Pentagon that the Pentagon's UFO department, which is a real thing, is getting ready to release findings that they have had discovered aircraft over the years made not of this earth on our planet. And this, for background, this comes on the tail end of the Pentagon releasing thousands of pages of documents on UFOs. Now, UFOs are a real thing. Let's forget aliens for a second. UFOs just mean unidentified flying objects until they're identified. So, hey, a pilot would see something in the sky. They said, hey, I've got an unidentified flying object. That object might become identified, and then it's an identified object, okay?
Never mind, it's a cloud. Got it.
So, So let's start with the definition of UFO. UFO means unidentified flying object. So the Pentagon released thousands of pages on unidentified flying objects. Back in the early 2000s, a fighter jet squadron off the coast of San Diego doing training was tasked for a real world tasking. So they said, hey, you're on this training op. We're giving you real world tasking. Something popped up on our radar and we need you to go check it out. When they got there to the location of the radar, they got their FLIR on an object flying through the sky at insane speeds, making maneuvers.
It was Mach something. I remember hearing them talk, and they were like, woohoo! Like they were kind of stoked. Like that thing's moving faster than machines.
Yep, making maneuvers that defy the laws of physics as we understand them for aviation. And they tracked this thing. Multiple aircraft tracked it. There's video. Those videos leaked. They were actually originally the leak was proliferated by Tom DeLonge of Blink-182. He's a big UFO guy. I'm back on the No Pants and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket album. There was a song called Aliens Exist. And so these videos went everywhere. The guy, Commander David Fravor, who was famously the commander, the CEO of that squadron, who had that video and always stood by his story that he's like, this is real. It was out there. It was not a glitch in the FLIR or whatever. We tracked it. It doesn't make any sense. It might be aliens, whatever. Who knows? It's certainly not something that makes any sense from a Earth perspective.
It's not American.
And so that's a little bit of background. So there's a history.
I think that's the only thing they can really say. It's not American. That's all they know for sure.
There's a history of the United States Navy having tracked unidentified flying objects. The Pentagon this year acknowledged that there's an unidentified flying object program, and they released thousands of pages on their, including the one with Fravor, on their investigations of UFOs. And Commander Fravor sticks to his story of what happened, that there was this thing, and the truth is out there and everything. And now a leaker from inside says the Pentagon is expected in the next weeks or months to release evidence that they have aircraft made of materials not found on Earth that have visited Earth.
It's going to be great.
Thoughts?
Oh my God. Thoughts. Okay. We have identified what a UFO is. That's my first thought. Good. Second thought, we would never, if this is as sensational as it potentially could be, right? We would never arrive at this moment in time and space if the Pentagon hadn't already thought this through one hundo. So, just as we throw it into the timeline that we kind of know, right? We'll just start with, I don't know, we'll start from 1776. That'll be a timeline we know, 1776. It just hasn't been that long, bro. I was thinking about it the other day. I was driving my dog. We went up, I was talking to you about it, to the 9/11 memorial, and we went into DC and we looked at Lincoln. It was just really, really cool. Anyways, it's just when, so as I was talking to her, I was like, wow, it just really wasn't that long ago, man. This is, like, we're not even, it's still less than 500 years, And so if you think, okay, you asked my thoughts. I'm going to try to get through it. My thoughts. Lincoln helped usher in industrial age, at least for America. That was sort of, that's something we look back into this big explosion of like manufacturing and goods and machining and really, you know, the cotton gin and all, you know, so that was just that. There was this era of when they went into manufacturing and mass producing all this stuff, and farmers could now plow made out of metal that'll last long, and they could have tools that wouldn't need to be repaired or replenished as much. It just became, they had a plan, man. But then there became a time, and you know, I'm not going to claim to be a UFO expert or anything, but I know Roswell was in the 40s, right? So I look back into the 40s. Were we watching TV yet? Yeah, we were watching TV, right? Like there were things that we had, but man, we didn't have a lot, right? And if you look at the timeline of things, you know, radar suddenly comes online. The components start getting smaller. The cameras start getting better. The way to transfer data goes from wire to light. Like if you just think of some of the things that we've done, and then they started talking about Moore's law, where they basically said every, you know, 18 months, you know, technology is going to improve until it finally gets so small it can't max out, and then you're going to have to be human beings again. Now you're going to have all your good technology, but we haven't maxed it out yet. Sorry to throw your name around like that, but we haven't, right? That we keep proving it can get smaller. We keep proving it can get smarter. We keep proving it can get faster. How do they keep doing that? How did we surpass Moore's law? How did we go from having a law to having to change policy? How did that happen? Like, it's no longer a law, right? We can't get enough. We'll take some more, please. So my thoughts are, I'm in alignment with you. I have no evidence or proof in my time in the Navy that aliens exist, or that UFOs are being used in a military capacity. So I have to assume that the telltale identifier that something is a UFO is that it is being intelligently controlled by an unknown source. And so that is the next level, right, of identification. Like, okay, it looks like it's a globe, but we still don't know who's driving it. So it's still unidentified, right? So they're not squawking. So, and then, you know, I thought it was you that told me the other week that there's actually starting to pick up a radio signal that's like 4.5 beats per second, 5 beats per second or something. It's coming from a certain cluster in the universe, our galaxy. And so there's just, you know, on and on and on and on. But you know what I think would be really cool is that they showed up with that little record that they sent out there with that satellite, and they were like, what is this? Like, we just wanted to know what this was. We even figured out how to time travel so we can go back to when you guys created this thing to figure out what it is. Like, I don't know. So what do I think? I'm not worried about it, bro. If it's true, then they've been here a long, long, long time. And it wouldn't really surprise me if they had something to do with our evolution. And that what the real big rat race here on Earth is, people are beginning to realize things like that to a certain degree, and they're racing for the knowledge, the understanding, and the power that I think people think there is there, and people just always look past themselves. And all I have to say is, we're flying on a battery, and you're a giant antenna. Every single person's an antenna. Like, if I could say one.
Say that again. You said the only thing I have to say is,
oh, we're flying around on a giant battery through space, and we're all antennas, and we have organic supercomputers, and we're just, the potential is limitless. And so to see people arguing about beards and putting their necks into people, or their knees into people's necks, and to see people destroying people's character over an idea, and for it to just people to surround those ideas and not try to see through it, not why it's happening, but why it's happening, and then why we need to get through it and how to get through it. So those are my thoughts. Why I decided to throw it out in the end, I don't know. You're gonna have to edit that out possibly. But I do think that it's a really good indicator that we made it this far, and the majority of the people on the planet think that we're the only ones. Like, that's how dumb. That's how dumbed down we've become. That's how controlled we've become. People don't even realize. Had you ever considered that we fly around on a battery?
I've always liked the idea that that Earth is a spaceship, right? Because if you think about it, if you can step back far enough, and I'm close my eyes to kind of picture it, we are hurling through space.
Yeah.
If you could go back far enough, you would see our planet hurling through space at thousands of miles an hour, just chaos, dude. Like, forget that we're on it. If you could take a 10,000 foot view, whatever, I'd be like 10,000 miles or whatever, and watch us just as it's happening. We are full throttle, boring through space and time, which time is not even a real thing. And we are aliens on a spaceship. So this idea of aliens on a spaceship coming to Earth is not so crazy to me. I mean, shoot, I hope it's real. I hope it's a real thing. If it turns out that it's like the Chinese created spaceships and they can fly, 8 times the speed of sound and turn on a dime, and they don't need, propulsion. They're like anti-gravity or something like that. Even better. If people on Earth made it, even better, because now we already have it and we already know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let me get one of those.
Yeah.
But if it's aliens, then that's cool with me, man. Bring it on. Like, I would love, like, if I think Reagan famously wanted to like uncover any truth about aliens when he was running for office. People were like, "Are you going to uncover the truth about aliens?" And he said, "If there's truth to uncover, I'll uncover it because I'm interested too." I think is what he said, not like when he was running for president. But or it might have been Clinton, something like that. Clinton, Reagan, something like that. But around like the 80s, 90s time frame.
I think Carter. I think it might have been Carter. I think Carter and Clinton were both.
It was around the 80s, 90s when people were like, let if there's truth to be told, tell it. You know what I mean? And in the whole Area 51 Roswell stuff and all these people that they call crazy and all that. And it was around then that we had started getting computers and technology, and not like there's weird theories about Nazi Germany having alien technology, and that's why their engineering was so good. And it just took this on to like reverse engineer. I mean, here's what I think, frankly. We've already on Earth come up with crazier stuff than what people think aliens have done. Okay? Scientists on Earth, forget about it. Let's say aliens don't exist. Scientists on Earth are already trying to get into other dimensions. They're time traveling. They're doing faster than light communication. They're doing teleportation, cloning.
What's that thing they have up? It's like in Ohio. It's that big. It's like a circle. It's like 3.
Don't do that. Don't do the swirly hands.
It's got a. Oh,
Don't do
sorry. They smash atoms. No hand
that's
talking.
That's in Europe. The Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, I thought they have one in Ohio too.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. But the original one, CERN, the Center for European Research and Research, whatever, is
they're finding dark matter, dude.
Yeah, all this. We have astronauts. We are aliens. Okay, we already did it. So we sent, like what you were saying, we sent stuff propelling into space. We sent out signals. We are the aliens. We are the masters of technology. We are the interdimensional. We're the interdimensional travelers. We're the and except we look around and we don't even care. Nobody even gives a shit. We want to fantasize that an aluminum flying saucer doesn't need propulsion. Like that's we won't survive. They don't even need propulsion. We are in space. We are talking about other dimensions. We're already doing time travel and we have iPhones.
That would be pretty cool though, if they release it tomorrow and it's you and me in there and we're doing an episode from the future and we're like, all right. And then like we just continue the episode.
Yeah.
This would be probably the point to stop it.
that's the thing. That's what I think. Like, even if aliens are real, okay, aliens from another planet visiting Earth on flying saucers, even if that's real, to me, it wouldn't even be crazier than the stuff that we already did. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I think that they know that. I think that there's, if this is all real, I do feel like there has been a campaign to slowly, in other words, there's not a single person alive today in America who has a TV or radio, whatever, who hasn't heard of UFOs. In other words, the saturation's complete. Like, the oldest people, the elders of America, know what UFOs are. They've been familiar with them. They can name all the shows that talk about them. They have I bet you and I have an understanding of UFOs and aliens that we don't even know. We know more than we think we do just from watching TV, just from watching Men in Black, just from watching Star Wars. Anyways, I think it's a cool story. I'm really excited to see if it's real. You know, am I gonna suddenly start buying UFO T-shirts and go visit Roswell? No, but you know, everybody sees weird stuff, dude, and it would be nice to know if that's something that you seriously consider. It might be when you see something that you explain. So that's how it would impact me. Like, oh, well, maybe that's a time traveler.
It wouldn't even be the craziest thing I heard this week.
What do you think is going to be the global reaction if it's legit?
I don't know.
Let's call it.
Well, okay, here's what I think. Okay, let me think about it. The way people would react if the Pentagon announced that the UFOs from outer space are real and that they have them, here's how people would react.
What is our planet going to look like?
No factor, no change.
Huh?
Okay, no change. Okay, because the people who would care already care. The people who would deny it already deny it. Everyone who just wants to go about their business will. There will be no change. Nothing would. It would be a barely a news story. Only like Neil deGrasse Tyson would be talking about it. It would be a ticker thing on the bottom of Fox News, and that's it. Nobody would even care. That's what I honestly think. No.
I agree.
No
I think you're right. I'm going to add one thing though. I'm going to contribute one extra thought to that. I think it'll have a significant effect on 30% of the global population. In other words, it will polarize them. It will, like atheists, suddenly they have a new fold that they have to consider. And then the religious, they also like, are these the beings that are said people that, you know, culturally have been, you know, taught to us, saint this, saint that, you know, so on and so forth. So, and then somebody's obviously going to have to explain it. So I do think that if it's legit, this is what I am predicting. It's going to be your scenario, but I think there's going to be, out of that 30% of the population, there's going to be 30% of them. So if we're doing math, how many people on the planet total? Are they 6 billion?
Billion.
They're at 7 billion? Okay. So, oh no, it's an odd number with an odd percentage. Hold on, we can do it though. So that's 21%.
21%?
Not 21. 21. Sorry, I meant 2.1 billion.
Is what, a third?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Ish.
2.4.
2.3. There we go. Yeah, 4. Okay, 2.3 billion. This is my prediction. Out of the 2.3 billion. Now let's pull 30% of that. 600. Thank you. God, you're so good at math, dude. I am so bad at math. I actually have a Mickey Mouse hand in my head. And I can actually, because I've been around the world, I can actually make them do an abacus sometimes, but it still comes up with the wrong number. Anyways, so there we are. We're saying 800 million is that number, right? So I believe roughly about 800 million people will take action of some kind. It will, they will either join a club, they will buy books, they will start researching, they will start creating the new normal, because those will be the people who want to understand it, whether it's for good or bad. I'm not saying, I'm just saying out of those 800 million people, those are going to be the ones that are going to be, I don't know where they'll be focused at. The majority of them will be or won't be. All I know is that there will be an influx of people who try to figure out what it all means. And it's rainbows and Skittles and whatever, puppies, right? Like, and then you're gonna have the other people who are gonna be like, oh, they're coming to blow us up. And Star Wars was a gigantic, you know, tell. And, you know, you're just gonna have, you're gonna have a movement, dude. Like, that's a movement. A third of the global population, that's my prediction. A third of the global population are gonna basically, there's gonna be a storm of just everybody racing, trying to figure, it's gonna level up the rat race a little bit, dude. But then it'll settle, I think. I think people will then do what they did in quarantine, dude. They're gonna go home, they're gonna stay home, they're gonna take care of their stuff, and they're gonna try to stay safe, and they're gonna try not to disturb the universe now, instead of just the planet.
I say nothing happens, and I'm basing that on the evidence that we already have. Okay, which is they already released the videos and said the videos are real. They already confirmed that the Navy, you know, saw this stuff and that, you know, filmed it or whatever, and that they don't know what it is. And already nobody gives a damn. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and say no one cares. Aliens are. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'll even make it easier. Aliens are real. Okay, it's guaranteed that aliens are real.
we're aliens. We already
We're
saw that.
aliens. From somebody else's perspective, we're aliens. So the idea that there's life, they even discovered life on an asteroid. They found little like single cell organisms on an asteroid passing by Earth. Okay, life outside of Earth is a real thing. Okay, so let's start there. It is real. Okay.
Yeah.
We already have done more insane and impressive stuff than what people claim aliens have done. Okay. So let's get that out of the way too. Okay. We already surpassed the wildest things that they said aliens were going to do. And then after all that, the government already comes out and says UFOs are real. We've been studying UFOs and we have these videos of UFOs.
We have a whole department.
Barely a blip on the radar. Okay.
Yeah.
And so nothing happens. They come out and say it's real. Nothing happens. No one gives a shit.
Okay. Now, 2 years from now, UFO pulls over the White House.
Okay.
You know where I'm going with this.
Will Smith.
Yeah. Will Smith's on our side though. Thank God. He was, yeah. That was a really good movie. Yeah. Jeff Goldblum was in it too.
Yep.
Is that Jeff Goldblum too? Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, sorry. July 4th just happened. Okay, we're back. So Independence Day. So there it is. It's parked over the White House. Now what? How does that different? Is anything changed?
Yeah, that would be different. But if the news came out tomorrow and said, if the Pentagon came out tomorrow and said aliens are real, nothing would change. No one would care. Right. If aliens invaded Earth and started doing some shady shit, people would obviously care.
But I'm gonna meet you in the middle now, right? So we went from Independence Day to this might be bullshit. We're gonna meet in the middle and just tell me what you think. What if the White House comes out and says, we have found craft? Obviously, there's gonna be pressure. Have you found beings then? And then, because the stories are, they found craft, they have found dead beings, and they have found living beings. Those are the stories. That's all the Area 51 stuff. And so it's going to open up that. And so they already have the answer prepped. If this is legit, right, and they've been covering this up, right, they already have the story prepped. So they come out and they say, we found a craft, we have found beings, and we learned to communicate with one of the living beings, and we signed a treaty with them to do this. And all the world leaders were there. There's a movie about that.
Mars
Star.
Attacks.
Yeah, Star Wars. So now how does that change it? Like they promise not to mess with us. We made a dope deal so they wouldn't abduct our people anymore or our cows. And now they are allowed to go collect shrimp or whatever it is they come here for. Gold or water or whatever people say. People. But how does that change? Now how does that change the reaction? Like they are real, there are beings, and they are interacting with our leadership, Earth's leadership. Because I think there's 800 million people going, I didn't vote for that guy. Or, you know what I mean? Like it starts turning into that stuff. And so that's what, have you seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Obviously.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember in that movie, they had people like all over the world going in, they went back into their cultural teachings. And they're like, and they're doing all their stuff. And so, and then if I remember right, the movie, the UFO just hung out right up at the Devil's Tower or something weird. And then
they figure out how to communicate with it with light or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, they seemed cool. Those ones did.
It's gonna. I'm telling you, that's what I think is. Nothing. They come out. They acknowledge it. It's real. Not only does nothing happen, but religions will deny it. Scientists will science about it.
I think the Catholic Church has taken a step closer to not denying it. They did that about 4 years ago.
What'd they say?
I think it was something along the lines of Stephen Hawking, like it's kind of the same. I think he said it is most likely probable. Like he said something like that.
Oh, it's a real PC answer.
Yeah.
Scientists will science about it. Skeptics will skeptic about it. Crazy people will conspirize about it, and put their antennas on their heads or whatever. And it'll be exactly the same situation that we're in today until.
Yeah, I think the Catholic Church. I shouldn't say until next July 4th, or till the revolution's over and then they have a new Independence Day, and then, anyways. So I think that the Vatican's approach was, it is possible that God has more creations beyond the earth, something along those lines, which is equally PC religious speak, saying we're probably not alone.
Yeah, aliens will land, and then it'll be like they'll convert them to Christianity or Catholicism.
It'd be kind of cool.
Be in the new Crusades, dude. Imagine
Oh, dude.
I don't want to go down this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
But bro, listen. You can edit whatever you want. All I'm telling you is, people love it when we talk like that, and I'm not afraid to go down the rabbit hole because I don't owe anybody anything. I owe people the right to exercise. Whatever you do with your private time and your private space, and as long as you're not hurting nobody or making crime or creating conflict, that results in crime or violence, I got no issue. And so when I talk shit, like, it's probably because I've seen some shit, and it's worth talking about.
I just want to keep this under 30 minutes, and that's the only reason. And if people want to hear two Navy vets talk about their opinions on UFOs, I'm down to do that again.
Yeah, let's do a panel, dude. Let's do a whole panel, and we'll act like we know about it too. Like we'll be like, all right, so here we are. We've assembled this panel with 52 Navy veterans who have been collectively to 207 different countries, and we just go around the panel, and everybody will be like, no. Actually, what? Oh, wrong room.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up on UFOs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious. We'll bring this up again when the news is dropped that it turns out aliens are real, and then nobody will even tune into that because nobody's gonna care. Thanks for listening to this episode of Weekly Roundup, the ScuttleButt Weekly Roundup. with Max and Van